that we have are not met, how do we feel? We feel full of despair. We feel hopeless. We feel lonely. And those are terrible feelings. And when we have those feelings, it's so easy, if you'll stop and think about it, to relate to those people back in Jerusalem 2,500 years ago. Many of you all remember the actor Robert Young. Some of us think of him as Marcus Welby. Some of us can go back even further than that to the perfect father in Father Knows Best. But in an interview that he did many, many years ago, he relates to the one who was interviewing him that he came just this close to becoming an alcoholic because of that television series, Father Knows Best, because he knew that he could never measure up to the illusion that he gave of that father on the screen. He knew that the character he created was a sham. It was a charade of his life. And so much of life sometimes is an illusion. How much of our loneliness, how much of our despair, how much of our hurt comes from unrealistic dreams and hopes? How much are we like sometimes those people of Judah? So as we think about some of the negative things in our lives, about the dreams that don't come true, about the things that hurt us, if you will, the question is, with whom are we going to share these things? Who are we going to talk with? Can we realistically talk with a neighbor? Well, some of us are lucky, and we can do that. But in our mobile society today, is there a neighbor who has been there long enough that you trust that relationship and you will share your deep feelings? And what we come to find is that so many of our relationships, just strictly because people aren't where they used to be for such a long period of time, the relationships that we share are superficial. They're just there on the surface. And I'm so thankful for you folks. I'm thankful that I've been here for 10 years. I'm thankful that you know me well. And you accept me. And I accept you. And I feel that you all are a great blessing. Many of our relationships are just right on the surface, and what hurts is when we realize that. Can we go and talk to our family? A lot of folks can't. Parents live hundreds of miles away. Children live miles and miles away. We don't want to bother them. So we talk about superficial stuff. They can't do anything about our hurts and needs anyway. And as far away as they are, I can't do much for them. We're told that husbands and wives are so busy with a two-career family, raising children, taking kids in carpool, doing all of that, there's no time for even intimate conversation between husbands and wives. And they find it very difficult to open up and tell what they're feeling. And I suppose that with that in mind, sometimes some of us may even question, can we talk to God? Mr. and Mrs. Gilbert Bays, and I wish your mother was here, Deborah, because she might remember them. John, you may remember them. They were my third grade Sunday school teachers at Old McLemore Christian Church. And I was scared to death of them, absolutely. And they taught me in Sunday school that I should never, ever ask for things for myself. That those were selfish prayers, and God doesn't listen to them. And furthermore, she told me, Golda, that was her name, that I should never be angry in my prayers because good Christians are are never angry. I outgrew that thought a long time ago. Yet, I got tired, and sometimes I still get tired, of being sweet and nice in prayer. When I know deep inside of me, I need to talk about my needs. I need to talk about my frustrations. I need to talk about the anger. So for the people who are returning to the promised land and for us, the question is this: are we good for more from the God who created us and sustains us? And the answer to that, and this is the good news for this morning, is a resounding yes. We are good for more. Isaiah's promise comes to us. God sends us a Son, and in that Son we have new hope and we have new peace. The promise is that there is and there always will be an open and a caring and a trusting relationship with God because of His Son, Jesus Christ. In that relationship, we can talk to God about anything. We can talk about our loneliness. We can talk about things that we need and want. We can talk to God about our hurts and our pains, even if those hurts and pains may seem childish. They're not childish when they're ours. God promises to us a relationship that can never, ever be broken. And simply put, in this relationship with God, folks, every one of us sitting here this morning is good for more. From the relationship that we have with the Father because of Jesus Christ, we also find that we can have a sense of peace in this relationship. We can be secure. We find that we can be better in our relationships with others, that we really learn who we are as we find that we have a reason for existing. Because when we serve God, our purpose in life is fulfilled. God says that we can have it all through His Son. That is one heck of an offer. So here we are at the beginning of our season of preparation. It's the season when we're preparing for Christmas. It's time when some of us prepare to buy presents. Some people prepare to borrow money. It's a time when we hear from that XYZ financial company that we are good for more. But this is also the time of the year when we prepare for the coming of God's Son, Jesus. We hear the same promise. With God, you are good for more. And it's true. With God, we have the fulfillment of a relationship, the fulfillment of forgiveness, the fulfillment of peace, and nobody else, nobody can offer that. We truly are good for more. So what I would ask each one of you, the next time that you're feeling lonely, that you're hurt, that you're blue, that you're sad, let me ask you just to stop, just for a moment, and remember what it is God offers to each one of us in the form of that little baby over there in that manger this Christmas season. Remember, folks, with God, each of us is good for more. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Our closing hymn is number 125.